All right, so your Jeep threw a U1267 code, and now you're wondering what's going on. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to put on our detective hats and crack this case wide open.
So picture this. You're just driving along, minding your own business, and boom, a check engine light. You plug in your scanner and it spits out this code, U1267. Kind of cryptic, right? It feels like your Jeep is trying to tell you something in a secret language. Well, today we're going to be the code breakers.
When you boil it all down, this code is really just about one thing: a communication breakdown. Seriously, that's it. It means one super important part of your Jeep has just stopped talking to another one. So the real question we have to answer is, who stopped talking and what made them go silent? Okay, so if this is a communication breakdown, who are the two parties that aren't talking? You know, every good mystery needs a cast of characters, so let's introduce the key players in this little drama. First up, we've got the Transmission Control Module, or TCM for short. Think of this as the brain of your transmission. Its whole job is to listen for one specific piece of information. Hey, what gear are we in? And when it suddenly stops hearing that message, it's the one that freaks out and throws up the U1267 code. You could say it's the one filing the missing persons report.
So, who's it supposed to be listening to? That would be our second character, the Electronic Shift Module, or the ESM. This little guy has a pretty simple gig. It knows exactly where your gear shifter is, park, reverse, neutral, drive, and it's supposed to shout that out constantly. In our mystery, the ESM is the key witness, the one who's mysteriously gone silent.
And right there, that's the heart of the whole problem. The TCM is expecting to hear from the ESM, but it's getting nothing but radio silence. Because it can't confirm what gear you're in, it throws up that U1267 code as a safety precaution. It's basically waving a red flag saying, hey, this super important conversation isn't happening. All right, so we know who is involved. Now we need to figure out why they're not talking. Our investigation starts with suspect number 1. Is it possible the problem isn't with either module, but with the phone line between them? Yeah, it's time to look at the wiring.
See, these modules don't just have one wire connecting them. They communicate over a whole network called the Controller Area Network. You'll hear it called the CAN bus. For this specific conversation, there are actually 4 key wires that act like a highway for the data to travel on.
And the best way to think about this is really simple. If any one of those 4 wires gets damaged, it's exactly like someone snipped the phone line in the middle of a call. The TCM is on its end, waiting for the signal, but the message from the ESM just can't get there.
Now, this damage can look like a couple of different things. You might have what's called an open circuit, that's literally a break in the wire, or you could have a short, which is where the wire is touching metal or another wire it's not supposed to, which just messes up the signal completely. But no matter which one it is, the end result is the same: silence.
So what's the fix? Well, it's pretty straightforward, even if it can be a little tedious sometimes. If you find a wiring problem, you just got to track down that exact spot, that break or that short, and repair it. As soon as you fix that line, boom, communication should be back up and running. But what if the wires are perfect? What if you check every inch and there's nothing wrong? Well, that means the problem isn't the connection, it's the person on the other end of the line. So let's turn our attention to suspect number 2, the electronic shift module itself. Okay, so you've gone through all the wiring, checked all 4 of those circuits, and they are pristine. No breaks, no shorts, nothing. This is where the investigation takes a turn. If the phone lines are working just fine, then the only other possibility is that the person who's supposed to be making the call isn't. The problem has to be the module itself. And this is the logic. If the ESM itself has failed, it's just not creating or sending out the signal to begin with. The TCM is listening, the line is perfectly clear, but there's just no one talking on the other end. It's as simple as that. And here's the thing. Unlike a wire that you can patch up, you don't really repair a bad module. So if you've ruled out the wiring and you've confirmed the ESM is the bad guy, the case is pretty much closed. The solution is simple. You've got to replace the electronic shift module. All right, we've met the characters, we've investigated both of our main suspects. Now let's wrap this all up into a simple, step-by-step game plan so you know exactly what to do to solve this thing. It really just comes down to 2 steps. It's a process of elimination. Step 1, always check the wiring first. Go through those CAN circuits with a fine-tooth comb. Then, step 2. Only after you are absolutely positive that the wiring is good, then you can confidently move on to replacing the electronic shift module.
And look at this, we've basically put the whole case file on a single screen for you. This little chart breaks down every possible cause we talked about, all the potential wiring faults, plus the module itself, and tells you exactly what the fix is for each one. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for cracking the U1267 code.
And there you have it. The mystery of the U1267 code, case closed. See, it's not some random, scary error. It's a very specific problem, a communication failure with a very logical path to the solution. You just follow the evidence, from the code to the culprit. Now that you've got this one under your belt, the only question is, what mystery are you going to solve next?